Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Super excited to have two guests with me today. Kind of random, by the way, a quick meeting with a dear client, Treasure Davis, you're going to get to know in a minute, who's just flying in to work on a couple projects, and a longtime dear friend, both of which, by the way, have been on the Tom Ferry Show, Kirk Kessel from Melbourne, Florida, in town with his son and daughter, a little holiday break before school starts. And I thought today it'd be super fun just to go random with these two. I've got 6 or 7 questions, things that are probably on your mind if you're paying attention to the real estate space, what's happening in our world, Realogy doing a deal with Amazon, etc. And I just want to get two extraordinary agents' input and insight or opinions on all these things that are happening. So by way of context, Treasure, why don't you take a minute and just introduce yourself to everybody out there? Who are you? How long have you been selling homes? Give us a little background. Tell them what you did before you got into real estate so they really get to know you.
Okay.
So who is Treasure Davis?
So my name is Treasure Davis, and we are located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I've been a realtor since 2005, native to Colorado Springs. And before I got into real estate, I also worked at a medium security male prison.
You can see that, right, Kirk?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes.
A male prison.
A male prison.
Did you go to the dry bar when you were working there, or was that,
Yes.
that probably didn't exist then?
No, you tried to wear like size 12 clothes, like way too big for you, your hair up, like no makeup. You tried to look as homely as possible. So
I'm trying to picture that with you. That's a little bit different.
yes.
So how did you go from medium like as in like security,
Yes.
not as bad, maybe not as crazy, but still crazy.
Pretty bad.
We are still talking about prison.
Yes.
To real estate.
I mean, I feel like it's a natural transition.
Okay.
Are you calling buyers and sellers inmates?
Yeah. Wow.
Or is that other agents? Sorry, yes.
I think it's a normal transition. The working for the state is great. It's a state job, so there's some comfort to it.
Sure.
But being an entrepreneur, you can only do that for so long before you're like, I gotta do something different.
Yes.
So, and we wanted to live in the big city. We lived in a really, really small town of like 7,000 people where you worked at the prison or Walmart. So
Wow.
those were really your options.
Yeah. Wow.
And the prison obviously paid a lot better.
Sure.
And a
Than
lot
Walmart.
of
Okay.
and a lot of opportunity to move up, and which is good for an entrepreneur because it keeps you there longer.
Yes.
But then it was time to spread my wings and see what I was made of.
Yeah. And so how old were you when you got into the real estate business?
Gosh, 12? No. I think I was probably 27, 28.
Yeah. So already, married, I'm assuming, kids, that
Married.
kind of experience. So you get into real estate and just for optics, how many transactions did you do your first year? And then how many did you do in 2018?
So when I first got into real estate, that was 2005.
Yeah. Good timing.
I'm great timing.
Wow.
Yes.
Left state jobs, bought a home, stated income. We had bought and sold businesses. So that was our third business that we had bought and sold.
Yep.
Because also working at the prison, I had a wedding store as well. So I was a wedding planner / worked at a prison.
It's a natural. Definitely a natural.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's that entrepreneurial side of me.
Yes.
So we had sold that off, and then it was just, I don't know. There's just so much excitement. I forgot your question. I'm so sorry.
So first year, how many
we keeping this
transactions?
real?
Yeah, no, listen, this is definitely going to just be a random fun interview.
Okay.
So
Yes.
how many transactions your first year?
So my first year, I think I did about 3 million, which is pretty good for not being from. I mean, I was born in Colorado Springs, but did not grow up there.
Got it.
So started from ground zero, door knocking, holding on to every lead that came in, paying referral fees on reload that came to us, and then fast forward to 2019. Last year, 2018, I did 125 transactions myself. Our team did a little over 360. This year, I'm going to do 100, and our team will do about 450 transactions.
Do you hear that, buddy?
Wow.
125 transactions on her own.
Yes.
And then the team did the balance of how many again?
So last year, 360. This year,
Okay.
we're on track for 450. I'll do 100 this year. So I'm
Okay.
scaling back a little bit, but I love it. So
So in case you guys are
Wow.
wondering, yes, I'm going to ask about marketing and schedule and all that stuff, but we got a bunch of random questions that I just want to get their input on. And then we will dig into what they're doing. Like, how in the world is she doing that much on her own? Plus has 2 amazing daughters and a husband that likes her. Like, hello, it's kind of a big deal. All right.
you.
So how big is your team, just for context?
there are 15 of us now.
Okay. 15 of us. And how long have you been with us now as a coaching client?
6 years.
6 years, right? So it's kind of 2013. We were talking about that earlier, right? So again, just giving you context for maybe the way that Treasure thinks or views the business differently. Let's go to Kirk. So Kirk, how long in the business now?
37 years. I started in 1982.
Yeah, 1982. When you were 18 or 19?
I was 18 years old when I started. I got out of high school in 1981, started in January of 82.
And okay, so for context, because again, we're talking about two crazy entrepreneurs here. What did you do before you sold real estate?
Well, mine was a better job. I mowed yards. I literally mowed yards.
That might be an easier transition, I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
They were nicer people. They were nicer people.
Probably.
We didn't have to wear baggy clothes. We got in the sun. It was a great job.
That's true.
It was a great job.
All right. So, and you went into real estate. You were like he and I have known each other for like 29 years. So you're like 19 years old selling real estate.
I started selling real estate literally at 18 and a half years old. So I was going to part-time college and selling real estate. I made so much money my first year, I dropped out of college. And my folks were like, "You're crazy. You're going to give up, college for a real estate job? Really?"
Yeah.
Fast forward.
That kind of worked out.
Yeah. What a great deal. What a great deal.
So give them high level a few of the seasons of your career. And I want to ask you the same exact question. So seasons meaning first couple of years I did this, then I did that, then we bought a company, then I sold a company, like the seasons of your career. So they get context because 37 years is a lot of time. There might be someone listening right now that's 28 years old. You've been selling real estate, 9 years longer than they've been alive.
Yeah, my deal was always I bought my first house at 16 years old, put it in my dad's name, and I was always buying and flipping real estate. So I've always done that. When I was in 22, 23 years old, I bought my first mobile home park, flipped that, managed it for about 3 years, but I was always flipping out of a deal to get into something else. So my first year of real estate, I made $55,000. I don't know how many houses I sold, but I made $55,000, which back in 1982 was a ton of money. Enough money to say, hey, I'm making more than my mom and dad. I'm not going back to college. And I just kept selling real estate. I did a ton of relocation. That's how I built my business. And I door knocked.
Yeah.
I door knocked.
Yeah.
I mean, literally door knocked from the time 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon with a tie on in Melbourne, Florida.
We're talking hot and sweaty in the summertime. We're talking hot and sweaty most of the time.
All the time, yeah. Except for the winter time. But I mean, I didn't know any better. So when I got on the phone, my broker said, "Hey, you're supposed to be on the phone making calls today. What are you doing?" And I was a high school, college kid. At 8 o'clock in the morning, if I wasn't in there, he was calling. And then it became 7 o'clock in the morning, he was calling. And then it became 6 o'clock in the morning. So what happened was he created a habit with me. I was up at 6 o'clock. We'd go to breakfast at 6:30. By 7 o'clock, I was in the office. By 8 o'clock, I was making phone calls.
Yeah.
And the only way I didn't make phone calls is if I already had appointments. So my goal was to have as many appointments as I could.
Yeah.
So I'm not making phone calls.
Right.
Yeah, because I wanted to fill the pipeline. I mean, that was it.
So both of you have done a lot of unique things in your business. And I'm going to hit you with, I want to go back to seasons.
Okay.
You were a single agent. Then you got an assistant.
Correct.
Then you built
right away.
You built a team. Then you had your own company. Correct. Then you sold it and retired.
In 2001, I sold it. I stayed on for 3 years till 2004, and then took 5 years totally off. So I did not come back in the business till 2009. Kind of burned out, just tired, made a ton of money. I mean, I developed shopping centers for myself. I developed condominiums. We sold all the condominiums. I owned 400 rental units at one time. Had to buy a plane just to fly to see different properties. I had a property in Eufaula, Alabama, of all places, huge mobile home park that every Friday I go spend the whole day there, just figuring out the problems and what we had to do. So super, super busy. In 2002 and 2004, had 2 kids, decided, hey, I just want to be a stay-at-home dad. And then fast forward, when they went to school at 6 years old, like, all right, now what am I going to do? Because my only hobby is work.
Yeah.
Literally. And this was all, basically in 2007, 8, when everything was just taking a turn for the worse.
Yes.
So I had a lot of projects going on. So I spent a lot of time digging these projects out of messes. I mean, banks that went broke, a mess. I ended up in court. It was a terrible 4 or 5 years. In 2009, got back in the business again.
Yeah, and came back, you and a partner.
Correct.
Right, who's, a fantastic guy. So,
he's the brains of the outfit.
Big shout out to D. Wayne.
Hello, Mr. Carpenter.
Right?
Hello, yes.
So I'm going to transition back to you. Transitions or just, again, for context for the people that are listening, I want them to understand like the depth of who we have here. Give them some optics around, pre-team, what it looked like, us working together, what did it look like, what's happened since, like give us some sense of sort of the seasons of growth and experience in your business.
Yes. So when I started, I joined my father-in-law who was in real estate, and we had this concept of becoming a team.
Yep.
Fast forward, didn't realize that he was not paying taxes, which is a very important part of being an entrepreneur and having
How's
your own
he making $100,000 a year and going to every baseball game?
Yeah, exactly. Not paying Uncle Sam.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't go over well.
So he decided to get out of the business, and
Smart.
and was doing some multi-level marketing, got out of the business. But when he left, there was nothing for him to sell off or get referral fees out of or do anything with. So when he left, we were like, what do we do? We just bought a house, stated income, which we know the interest rate's going to adjust on us. We left cushy state jobs. We sold off 2 businesses to come here. What are we going to do? How are we going to make this work? And so got into the business and just wanted to work hard. And I can still remember to this day having a mentor that was like, you got to find your niche. And I was like, that's crazy. Why do I have to find a niche? This is a small town.
Yeah.
Colorado Springs is a small town. I don't need a niche.
Yeah.
And I can still remember that feeling of I can sell this whole city.
Yes.
But it was in like self-development and reflection of like, what really do I love? What clients do I really love? And for me, it was really being in a military town of 5 installations and having my brother-in-law's active duty. It was, I love that.
Yes.
And that really built the fire. And so that's what I really built it on. But I can still remember hearing that. Obviously, my business life isn't as robust and as amazing as that, but mine started off.
It's different.
Totally
Totally
different.
different. Absolutely.
But I think it's interesting to, go from, I need an assistant. My average price point is lower. So how am I going to get an assistant? Okay, I'm going to split an assistant with 2 other people in the office.
Yes.
Okay, then we're going to go to, now I'm ready for my own assistant. So taking kind of those baby steps and being able to, as you say, like fail forward.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, that didn't work. Okay, I learned from that. Now I'm going to make a different mistake, not the same mistake, but I'm going to move forward. And then I got an assistant who has been with me since 7 years, 8 years now.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
She is my backbone, our team chef, our mom. She's our world.
Yeah.
And holds us all together and manages my schedule and manages me. And the thing that has made our team has always been being true to ourselves and true to our clients and being authentic and always striving to do the best, even though it's not always the easy decision. So then I did a transaction with a realtor that it was her first transaction. I didn't know. She added me on Facebook after it closed. And I said, oh, I want to meet you. She was with a competing brokerage who does a lot on recruiting, which I'm not going to say their name, but they're very big in recruiting. And so she thought she was going to recruit me over.
Yes.
What happened was I was like, I don't want to have a team. I just want to give you referrals because I have too many leads coming in that I can't manage. So I'll just give you a referral. You give me a referral fee. That's our team. This was kind of before teams were really a thing. So then we started doing that. She came to me and said, I want to join the team. And I was like, well, okay, let's try that. She's still with me today.
That's great.
And we just started building one by one by one by the right people, by our core values, by our culture, and just staying true to us.
I love it. I love it. All right. So let's go random. You guys ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
All I want is your opinions. Now they got some context for who you guys are. Okay. Realogy signed a deal with Amazon.
Yes.
Right? Amazon, the almost $1 trillion business has, I don't know, more unique visitors probably every day than Zillow has probably in a month, right? And I don't know the exact numbers, so don't correct me on that, but I'm going to guess it's pretty darn close. It might even be higher.
It's big.
And if you remember about 1.5 years ago, they posted a page that said, hey, need a real estate agent? And shockwaves throughout our entire industry. People were freaking out. Realogy, whose stock has been trading in the $5 and $6 range, right? I mean, the second NRT being the second largest individual company next to Home Services is number 1 now. We're talking about Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker, ERA. They just did a deal with Amazon. What's your opinion?
I think it's a great deal if they can manage it. I mean, I think what will happen is they'll send all these referrals. It's going to be the same as any other referral company. It's going to be the first one that responds. It's going to get the shot at the lead. So you're going to have to speed the lead. It's what you always talk about, speed the lead. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I also think it's going to change the way that we're paid as realtors, which I think all of us have known has been coming for a long time, that I think people are in denial, head in the sand of what's about to come our way.
Yeah. So what do you mean? Okay, so go deeper on that. And you kind of went to a tactical thing about what you think they need to solve. What is your opinion of the deal? What do you guys, look at Amazon just partnered with Realogy. What do you do if you're Remax, Berkshire Hathaway, Keller Williams, company, just name every company. Like what do you think those CEOs are saying right now?
They're wishing they made the deal.
Yeah, I think they are too.
Yeah.
I think they are too.
Why?
I think it's that good of it's a powerhouse deal. Amazon's huge. I mean, if you think about what Realogy's done to pull this together, I think it's the biggest deal out there. When I read about it, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I agree. I think they're the ones that are going to give some more play, some more room in the market as to options for consumers.
Yeah.
It's going to change
Which is
the
what
industry.
they want. Absolutely.
It's absolutely going to change the industry.
Okay. What do you think is not going to work about it? This is just a totally random. I'm just curious. What do you think is not going to work?
I think they're going to have to educate the public, because the problem is the public still, when we meet with the public, they're not educated. So, so for instance, somebody will call us on, let's say Homelight, and they'll say, hey, we want to list our house. I call them right back. Hey, Kirk, how you doing? I said, yeah, I saw you, you requested a realtor. Oh yeah, we were going to call you. Well, by you doing that, I'm now paying a referral fee to do that. So
You all know what he's talking about.
What I'm saying is the general public is not educated in how to get a realtor. Even these are sometimes friends of mine. Oh, we were going to call you. We're just looking for the top agent. They go to top agent site and they pull up and say, hey, we saw you on there. But if they click on it, now all of a sudden I'm paying a referral fee. So it changes the industry. But I'm going back to the consumer has no idea how it really does work.
Yeah.
So I think it's changing the industry as well as the consumer is also the realtor. It's going to make us level up. It's going to make us come with our A game. It's going to make us perform and do things that are outside of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
And our industry needs to do that. Our industry as a whole, as realtors, we need to get passionate about protecting each other, protecting our industry, and getting to where the consumers are instead of complaining about what's happening.
Yes.
There are so many people spending so much time on social media. Oh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
Angry.
It's like,
They're angry.
we have to get away from that, and we have to protect our industry.
Yeah. Somebody was really angry. Like these automobile things are not going to work. I'm doubling down on my horse business, right? I mean, that's kind of feels like we're in that type of inflection point in the industry, right? With how many billions of dollars being invested in the total addressable market, the TAM, 17% of the GDP of the country. I mean, it's a bananas industry. So I'm not shocked. Go back to the commissions. What's your opinion on what's going to happen to real estate agents' commissions?
They're going to get squeezed. And it's a big industry. Like if you look at all the industries, how much money we make is so much money. I mean, obviously I don't know how much, but it's a ton of money. So
it's 86 to like $95 billion in commission income.
Right. Why would investors not look at that?
Yeah.
Investors are looking at that saying, I'm going to get a piece of that pie. And it's very easy to become a realtor. There's no requirements really to doing it.
Super easy.
And
do you think that should be changed?
Absolutely. That should be changed.
But what do you say to the associations that make all their money on that, or NAR that makes all their money on that, because they need that for governance? I mean, we need somebody I'm just giving you devil's advocate, right?
Right.
Somebody to step up to the man and say, wait, we got 1.4 million people here. We want you to vote this way.
We have to pay more fees.
Yeah, I think the fees either got to go up and the educational levels got to go up, because what's happening is we have people that get in the real estate business. I have probably 1 to 2 calls a week. Say, hey, Kirk, I'm getting my real estate license. Are you looking to hire somebody in your team? No, first of all. And second of all, there's really nobody in our town that will do any great training. So what happens is you have your license, but you don't know a thing about the deal.
Right.
So now they're on the other side of the table, and they happen to have Aunt Susie that wants to buy a house that the contract's a disaster. They bring it to you. You have to clean it up because their broker's spending no time. I mean, I can fast forward, but I mean, it's all the same stuff. So because of the lack of education, they have no idea what they're doing. None. And it's epidemic. Yeah. What is it? 82% of the people?
87% failure rate.
In what, 5 years?
In 5 years.
I mean, it's like a restaurant.
Yeah.
You start a restaurant. Yeah.
Okay, but in fairness, you've heard me say 90% of small businesses fail.
Correct.
Right? And the problem is in many cases in real estate, they fail, but they don't leave the business. Right? They do their 1 or 2 or 3 transactions a year, and then they're working at the, medium penitentiary, part-time for the benefits. Right? So do you guys think, and again, I'm not like fishing for controversy. This is just a curiosity question. Do you think the Realogy, Amazon thing is overall good for the industry?
I think that it was coming. And I think it is good for the industry because that's what consumers are demanding. And I think the quicker that realtors step up to what is being demanded of them, consumers are no longer willing to accept, I'm not available until Friday at 5:00 and it's Tuesday. They're not accepting that anymore.
Amazon Prime, I want it here in 30 minutes. Right. Go.
And I want to know where it is, and I'm tracking where Bob is delivering my package right now. That's what people are expecting and demanding, and that's our...
It's the Uber.
Yes.
I want to see a house today at 3:00. Can you do it? No, I can't do it. Okay, thank you. They hang up and call somebody else that can do it. So if you don't have a team that can show a house at 3:00, it's not going to work.
Right.
When Amazon sends you that lead, if you're too busy with your other clients, someone else is going to pick up that lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're going to be happy to get that lead.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Ready? iBuyers. And what should an agent do to win regardless of the iBuyer movement? Nobody, by the way, and again, I want to be, for the record, I'm not for it or against it. It just is. You
Right.
with me? It just is, right? There's a percentage of people that don't care, will take a little bit less, 8 to 9% on average, to do an easy transaction to move along because they don't care, right? I know that sounds crazy, but there's a big percentage of that. What do you guys think is going to happen? I mean, you look at like Arizona, Becky's going to be here tomorrow.
Yes.
What is it, 8-10% of her marketplace now in Phoenix, Arizona that are these iBuyer transactions? If that was in your marketplace, I guess the question is, what do you guys think about it? And then what would you do to combat it?
We participate. So if somebody comes to me and says, we're looking at an iBuyer program, I'm like, great. What are you looking to sell the house for? And then I go right into that mode because I'm happy to buy the house myself.
Yep.
If it's a house that doesn't work for me, I have plenty of investors that will buy that house and they'll turn it into a rental.
Yes.
So, I mean, absolutely it works.
But do you market that? Do customers know that? Is it a degree of separation or is it only, remember we talked about in February at the Elite?
Mm-hmm.
If your degree of separation is only there at the kitchen table, whatever that is, broadcast it. What are your thoughts? Like,
I think
do
you have
people
to
know it?
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
absolutely have to know it. You have to let them know that, hey, we have an iBuyer program. We have a condo division program. Nobody else has that.
Yeah.
We have a team of 11 or 12 people, and we can service you like nobody else can service you. So what happens is when I go back to Aunt Susie, gets her real estate license and wants to take you out and show you a house, it doesn't work. She doesn't know what's going on. Hey, I'm not available this weekend. I can't do it. Or I want to sell my house, and you say, well, I don't know what the iBuyer program is.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I know what it is. So they're going to want to deal with somebody that's in the business that understands what's going on. That's all they want. They want sophistication.
The knowledge broker.
They want a
sophistication.
knowledgeable broker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
By the way, I have an Aunt Susie. That's totally.
Oh, do you?
Why do you keep talking about her
gonna
like that?
change
She
Aunt
may,
Susie's
she may
name.
be listening right now. She's like,
Poor Aunt Susie.
Tommy,
I know.
why am I on the show?
I know.
He's making me sound like I'm a knucklehead.
Oh my gosh.
So what's your opinion? So iBuyer, what's your opinion and how do you combat it?
So looking at the iBuyer program, we were iBuyers, obviously on a much smaller scale before there was an iBuyer program.
Yeah.
So you know when you walk into the house and you're like, I love this house. And you're like, what do you want to do? And you get the feel of what they want to do. So in our case, a lot of them wanted to move into new construction.
Yep.
New construction wouldn't start until their home was sold, but they didn't want to have to move twice.
Yep.
So walking in a house is saying, I'll buy the home, I'll let you stay here until your home is done,
Yep.
you'll rent from me, and then you'll move on.
Yep.
And then I'll either flip it or rent it. That's what we've done. Or meeting people, the one that we're doing right now that we're flipping, we met them at a hard spot where they were in their journey that we're like, we will pay you fair market value and we will keep this renter in there because
Yep.
no one's going to buy it because of the margins. They're not good on either side.
Yeah.
But we want to do what's good for you. We came in and bought it for fair market value. Now that the renter is out, we're flipping it and selling it. So we were smaller iBuyers before there was an
Yeah.
iBuyer. But I think for us, it's being ahead of that. So not waiting for them to say, I'm looking for an iBuyer program, but coming to them and saying, here are the offers. Do you like this program or do you like this program or do you like traditional?
Yeah.
You have options.
Yep.
We're here to just advise as to all the options that are there. And I think that's getting ahead of what everybody's doing instead of saying, oh, the iBuyer program is so bad. Do you know how much fees you pay? Forget that. Does that option work for you?
That's exactly
Do you
it.
like that?
Yeah.
But you have to advertise it.
Yes.
You have to. The public needs to know that you have that program out
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Because otherwise, they're going to call somebody else that's in the iBuyer profile, and
Absolutely.
they're going to say,
Yes.
"Gosh, we didn't know Treasure and Kirk did that." So we'd have loved to have called you guys. We know you guys, but we just want to sell our house quickly because we got to be in wherever right away.
So I was having breakfast last Sunday with a guy named Ken Jenny, right? You've met Ken before. I think you met Ken. Ken used to run like head of franchise sales for Prudential. He was one of the senior executives at Coldwell Banker. Since then, he's been a consultant for basically every big technology company you know in real estate and lots of brokerages. So Ken's a longtime friend. We chat all the time. We met on Sunday, and he asked me this question. Where do you see iBuyer in 10 years? What percentage of the market do you think it will be? 10 years from now, what do you guys think?
I think it's at 20-25% of the market. I think it's that big.
Okay.
I think it's that because people do not want the hassle of putting their house on the market.
That's like in the U.S. That's like 1.2 million houses, right?
I think it's that
5
big.
million being closed,
You
right?
think I'm
in that
too
range.
far off?
What do you think?
I think it might be a little bit less than that. I think, being a realtor myself, the idea of people coming through my house, I'm not thrilled with that whole concept. So I might consider it, but the fees are more than what they're going to pay for traditional, and the money that they have potentially leaving on the table is more. So it just depends on if they're looking for ease of move date or if they're looking for maximum profit.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where they're at in their journey.
What a cool Instagram, those polling options. Like, is it ease of close date or is it maximum profit?
Yes.
Right?
Well, and
like if you were to sell your home, which is more important to you, to start doing some polling on that?
That's
I think
great.
it'd be
I'm going to do that today.
Yeah,
well, and there's
like all my friends are like, yes.
Yeah. There's a caveat to that too. What if you were in a house and you paid $300,000 for it, and 5 years later it's still only worth $300,000? That's probably not a market they're going to want to be in. If you buy a house for $300,000 and now it's worth $500,000, all of a sudden, I'll take a little bit of hit. No one's coming through my house. I don't have to deal with the public. I don't have to do open houses. I'll take a hit. I'll be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing now, because if you bought, basically in the last 4 or 5 years, you're seeing some good appreciation.
Yes.
So people are saying, I can leave a little bit of money on the table and I'll move to the next opportunity.
Yes.
If you bought in 05 or 06, there's no money to. It's just getting back in some markets, depending on where you are, just to where it was. So I think there's some variables there.
You look at the national number on this, and I study it all the time. Like it's basically 2010 forward. Like if you want to work your past clients effectively, anybody that bought from 2010, 11, 12, 13, like the level of appreciation, like, hey, you were smart enough. This is Eileen Rivera 101. You were smart enough to buy that house in 2010. The question is, will you be smart enough now to optimize it and take advantage of the profits, right? And then go
Eileen
buy it.
is so smart.
Eileen is, Eileen, we love you. All right,
Eileen,
so any other thoughts on iBuyers? Okay, you guys both answered it like you two, and I guarantee someone's watching right now. Well, I'm not at that level. I am Susie. That's Susie he was just
Aunt
talking
Susie.
about, right? My Aunt Sue, right? What's up, Sue? If I was a 5, 6, 7 deal a year producer, lifestyle business, I make some money, like whatever, like I love real estate, but like I don't want to be like you two. What does that person do to protect themselves against the squeeze?
That's a good question, because I think they're going to get, there's always going to be a little piece of the market that they have, but I think the bulk of them are going to get squeezed out. I really do. I think there's so many new programs coming. I think there's so much technology. Just now, without the social media, if you're not a social media person or don't have one, you're left in the dust. We do so much social
non-existent.
media. Yeah, you're non-existent. So it's really changed the industry. My mom was in real estate for 25 years. She'd have no idea what to do right now. No idea.
Yeah.
None. It's changed that much. I've been doing it for 37 years, and literally we have a full-time marketing person, and we just hired a part-time person to do marketing. So it's 1.5 people just doing marketing. We used to do it ourselves. 30 years ago, we did everything.
Yeah.
We take the pictures and nothing.
Come on.
Now we have
licking and sticking.
Yeah.
Back in the old days.
So I think to answer your question.
He's that old.
Yeah, we
Me
had
too.
MLS books.
Me
We
too.
did. No, we did. I think to answer your question, I think they're going to be squeezed out. I really do. I think they're going
That's
to be.
not what Susie wants to hear right now. I'm looking for some offense.
Then she goes on a team. And she works as a buyer agent on a team, which is wonderful, because then if she doesn't want to work next week because she's got something else going on, she gives them somebody else on the team.
Yep.
That's the way it's going to work. I really believe that it's changed that much.
Okay, what does Susie do? What's Jose do? Who's like, hey man, I do like 10 deals a year, and I'm just not that into it. I'm raising my family, whatever, yada yada, whatever their situation is. But maybe they don't have the ambition or drive, and that's even hard. They're just doing 8 deals. What
And
do
they're
they do?
happy. They might be happy.
I don't want to make them wrong, because we
It's
know
not
a million
wrong.
people like that. They're all beautiful people. What do they do? How do they stand out?
I think that they have to partner with someone, maybe not on a team. That's always a great option, but I think that they need to partner with somebody, because even when I was a solo agent, I still partnered with people and still kept that momentum going, so that when life happened, we had someone to kind of pick that up. So I think that they need to partner with somebody. And I think when the iBuyer program is an option, when they present it and they're not afraid of it, then they can team up with someone who is an investor in their marketplace.
Bingo.
That can say, I don't want to do this, but call Tom Ferry. His phone number is 949. No.
Yeah. Careful.
Yeah.
So I would piggyback that. And, some of you longtime followers and friends have heard me say before that now is the time. I said it last year at the summit. Now is the time to find out who the investors are in your marketplace. And literally you can go on Facebook today and say, I see smoking hot deals every single week inside my office. If you or someone you know is interested in flipping real estate or just being the money behind it and making a greater return than you're getting in any other, account you have, right? Then we should talk. Because if you did that, you always had before you were the investor, and you even have big money investors now on bigger deals.
Yeah, well, and to answer your question a little better, is we have at least 2 people that I call all the time. There's more, but there's 2 that I call all the time on a deal that for whatever reason just might not like the area, doesn't work. I give them a call and I rotate them, so because they'll always buy the deal. I call them and say, hey, I got this deal. It's XYZ, and they'll buy it from the people. The only caveat is I get the full commission, because they're both licensed. So they buy all these deals. They'll either flip them to an investor, they'll fluff them up, sell them. But I always have somebody that will buy the property, always. Even if it's not myself.
And I think the other thing, obviously this isn't about coaching, but I think there's so much leverage in the coaching platform of meeting other people from across the country that maybe if the deal doesn't work for me or my investor, I could say, hey, I have a great deal in Colorado Springs. Look at what you're going to pay for a home. You know, $250, that's nothing to you. So, but this is a great investment. This is what your cap's going to be. This is what it looks like. And that might work for someone that you know. So I think leveraging those relationships is going to be vital to moving forward.
Big time.
And that's what the small agent does. They have to leverage.
They have to leverage.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted him to get. Like you can't. I would argue that it's not impossible to be a solo agent anymore, right? The true solo agent who says I'm going to do everything myself, right, in a 24/7 push button, hit a button, expect magic to happen environment, I would argue is impossible to also have any semblance of a life.
Correct.
I agree.
So a great transaction coordinator, the in-house marketing coordinator, like leveraging your broker, a buddy inside the office, you could say, I'm taking this weekend off. Can you just, can you take my phone calls? Can you do a couple showings? Like, is that kind of the direction you're thinking?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
And that's the direction that we were going before there was that direction. You have to have someone that you know and trust that can cover your business, whether you're a solo agent or a team.
Yeah. Okay, so let's switch gears and let's talk marketing. Right? Okay. Little less controversial than the first 2 points. Not that the first two were controversial, just fun. But let's call it for what it is. I would argue that right now, so you read the Burrell report, Borrell, I think it is, and basically it's one of those many list companies that track how much money is spent in advertising in multiple different industries, healthcare, real estate, whatever it may be. So it's always been around $16 billion a year. So first of all, let's do context. $16 billion a year in advertising, $86 billion a year in commissions. Like just think about just those two numbers when people are like, I bought a Zillow lead, my ROI was only 4. Well, they're spending $16 billion to get a piece of this. It's bananas. Now remember, this is every real estate agent on the planet, but it's mostly the big companies, right? The big tech companies that have big checkbooks to write. So the question I want to talk to you guys about is, with all that going on, kind of the squeeze conversation again, what are you finding that's working now in your marketing? This is really broad. So what is working today to attract customers and to continue to get your own customers to come back to you, repeat, referral, direct, referrals, et cetera? What's working?
For us, it's staying in contact with them, being direct, being intentional, not spamming them. Nobody wants to be spammed. The other thing that's working really hard for us, our past clients, anybody, nobody wants to be spammed anymore.
But you said staying in contact with them.
So staying in contact with our past clients, staying in contact with our leads, and treating them how they want to be treated. So what I always tell my team is when you call someone and you're like calling, texting. Like when I walk into an apartment store and they hit me right when I walk in and they're like, can I help you with anything? I'm like, I don't know yet. Let me look around a second. Let me look. And then once I find something, I'm like, yes, I would like that shirt in a medium. It's on the top rack in the back. I can't reach it. Now I want your help. And now you're going to get the commission because you pulled that down for me. That's the same thing that consumers want. You have to be there around because when they're looking, they don't have to go find you. But you don't want to hammer them so much that they're like, forget it, I'm out of here.
So you're saying the internet lead stalking is no longer a factor?
No.
For the internet lead or for your database?
For anybody. Like nobody wants it anymore, in my opinion. Like you have to treat people how you want to be followed up on. The other thing that's working for us is making sure that we're customizing what we're doing to the consumer. And to our leads and how we talk to them and offering them options. So we're very option based. We're like, we have option A, option B. Which one do you like better? You don't like either? You like option C? Let's hybrid that. We got that. So meeting people where they're at and making sure that they're protected in the transaction. So we have like a concierge of getting your home ready and how to get your home ready if you don't have the funds up front. We developed our own. The other one is the inspection process, making sure that their home is protected when they have a home inspector on the top of their roof that isn't insured. We don't allow that anymore. So getting ahead of where they're at and being able to say, we're protecting you. We're not just marketing the property. We're so much more than all of that. Okay, so the first part you're telling me about your marketing, but the second part you're telling me about how you do business once you get them. I want to know what is the push? So I'm going to give you guys some examples. You ready? And you're answering all the right stuff, and everybody's paying attention. But I want to go back to marketing, branding, and marketing. Right? Marketing's only purpose is to generate appointments. Branding's only purpose is to create trust. Right? Correct. You both do both. Right? So marketing is, I buy ads on Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, Google, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 right? All that. Geographic farms, open houses, working your database, your past clients in Sphere, whatever it may be. What do you do?
We do all of them. So the big one, the big one.
I know you do. That's why I wanted to just redirect the question.
The big one that we've changed though since the last summit is we do the mega open houses. Where we door knock, we send out invitations. Hey, we have an open house coming this week. We have an ISA that's now going to be calling all those people around there. So really, we're touching those people and saying, hey, please come see us. If we door knock, we're going to give you a ticket. If you bring this, and we'll throw it in there, and we're going to do a drawing at the end. We want the neighbors because they know somebody that wants to buy the house. Then once we get the deal, once we get it sold, then we ask them to write a letter. We write the letter for them and say, hey, you can tweak this, but is it okay if we send this out? It's
what's the letter and who
the letter
you send
says,
it to?
Hey, I just sold my house in Oceanside Village, and I worked with Tom Ferry. Tom and his team did a great job. We are so happy. If you're thinking about buying or selling your home, I would certainly suggest you reach out to Tom Ferry. He's a great guy. Signed, Kirk Kessel. So I'm the seller that's signing this, but what's happening is you're the agent that's sending them all out. So you're getting their permission. You're asking them to the Zillow reviews. You're asking them to Google, all the reviews. You want all that stuff. So what you're trying to do is become a celebrity in your own market.
Okay, you're getting into the branding side first. So mega open houses. Do you guys have I'm going to just hit you back and forth. Do you have a geographic farm?
Yes.
How big is it?
8,500 people.
Okay, so 8,500 people is how many communities? How often? Like, how do you hit them?
We hit the condominium.
That hits the wrong word.
Hit.
How many times do you communicate with them per month and how?
We on the condominium market, we typically hit at least once a month, and then we do a quarterly report. And then people actually call for the quarterly report. So it tells you what's on the market, what's it selling price per square foot, and what's sold, what's contingent. So people like that. They actually call and want to know what that report is. The other thing that we do is we do all the letters to the different communities that we're farming, meaning we want, I'll use Oceanside Village again. There's 600 houses in there. We want all those people to call us when they're going to list their house. How do we get them to call? We do the mega open houses all the time. They see us, we door knock them. So we get them in there, but we're branding the Carpenter Kessel team, as they're the group to call. They're the group.
So direct mail, letters, postcards.
We don't do many postcards. We do a lot. We do a lot more face-to-face door knocks than anything. Yeah, a lot more of that.
You're 37 years. Are you
still
are you healthy enough to door knock?
Believe it or not. Hey, it is hot.
We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah. No, but you want to tell the people, hey, we're doing this open house, and so now our marketing department's setting it up where we've got somebody else helping do the door knocking.
Yes.
So because we can't keep up with them, there's so many.
Yeah.
And then we've also got now someone setting the open house up. So all I do is go in there and I just get to talk to the people.
Yes.
Because what's been happening is we're getting so many people at these open houses. I'm busy talking to Treasure, and then Tom was a real buyer, and I missed him because he got through the house before I got to talk to him. And so we want to make sure that I get to touch every person in there. I've got somebody else in there that sets the open house up. That we have brand our own candles, so we have the same smell in every open house. We have the same flags up. We have the same cookies in. I mean, everything's the same. So when you come to one of our open houses, you know exactly what it is. And we do the signs like Tom says. 30 or 40 signs up. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Okay, so what else are you doing?
So going back to what I started with saying is we have a moving truck.
Yes.
So again, we're offering people options as to pieces of that. They don't have to want that, but we have it as an option. So we're making sure that we're offering the option. So if you want the moving truck, it's free. We give it to our community, and we're advertising around that. So we're advertising and branding and marketing our options.
So like looking to move, we'll move you for free. Some headline like that, some CTA.
So just using that, obviously we have a geographic farm, but something.
How big?
So we have about 2,500 homes.
Okay.
It's a neighborhood that I live in. But the thing that I think maybe kind of sets me apart is I love the community. I'm involved in the community. I live in the community. My kids go to school in the neighborhood.
Softball and, like the whole fam.
Being on the school board and living in there. So that is really my niche. And what I want people to do is when they think the neighborhood, they think Treasure Davis.
Yes.
And so it's great the Wills came to visit some people that lived in my neighborhood, which is a really small world. It was a blizzard. I live in Colorado. It was a blizzard, and we still had an open house going. And they put on their social... Snow doesn't keep Treasure from advertising for her clients. And I'm like, yes. So like, that's good marketing and branding. It's like, it doesn't matter what the weather is. We own this market. This is our niche. But you have to be passionate about it. You can't just look at everything and I'm going to do everything. You have to find the pieces that you're passionate about, that you really want to invest in, and go hard and deep on those, not, I'm going to touch a little bit. Oh, you do mailers? I want to do mailers. Oh, you do Facebook? I want to do Facebook. It's like, what really drives you and pushes you, and do that.
And then if it doesn't work after 6 months, you change it.
Yes.
So that's the key. You have to have a
Thank you.
timeline that says, okay, I'm going to try this for minimum 90 days. We think it's 6 months or longer. So you can't just send out one mailer a month and think,
Right.
oh, I didn't get any calls, so I'm not going to do this anymore. It's all about consistency.
And it's about touching them as well. You know, like we have people that deliver Popeyes for us, mostly my children who are on payroll.
That's fun.
But we have them drop off Popeyes. But then I went and we had a huge garage sale weekend.
Yeah.
So if someone has a farm, they should organize a garage sale weekend.
Yep.
We had 100 homes. We delivered donuts to everybody that was doing it.
Wow, that's nice.
And when I went, they're like, oh, your treasure? Oh, come here. It's so good. Thank you for everything you do in the community. Thank you for all that. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, I'll give you 55 cents for all those Pokemon.
I know. For
Sell
the
them
kids,
all
I'm
on
like,
eBay.
I will take that stuffed animal.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like being there and being true to
Yes.
it and letting people see that you're authentic. You're not
Yes.
just doing it for $1.
Yeah.
And that's why I think something that gets missed a lot is people are like, oh, I want to get into real estate. I like houses and I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more than
Yeah.
just that.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's what we were talking about earlier. It's my passion. It's my
Yes.
hobby. I love doing it.
Yep.
So when I cease loving to do it, I want to be a golfer, I'll go golf. But right
Yes.
now, I love selling houses.
Yes.
And I could see myself selling houses till I'm 80 years old. But it's the satisfaction of having the client say, wow, this was great. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Because there's a ton of emotions, as we all know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
even the seasoned seller and seasoned buyer get those emotions at some point when the lender, something
Yes.
hiccups,
Yeah.
the closing.
Delayed in closings and-
the
yep.
closing didn't get closed when it was supposed to. And they're like, oh my gosh. It's our job to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan.
And it's our job as realtors to eliminate that. It's our job to elevate that industry. So when you set a closing date, it's not just a file that people can move to another day.
Correct.
It's people's lives. And the minute that we all start treating it like that, it's going to elevate our entire industry and protect us
Yes.
from the squeeze a little bit more.
Yes. Let's talk about social and video. So what are you doing? What's working? What's not working? Does somebody have to do video? Do agents have to do video?
Yes.
Do agents have to do social?
I think you have to now. We've just started doing a ton after this meeting we had in February with you. I mean, just video after video after video. And now the question is, these agents are doing video. Other competition are,
Yeah.
but they're not able to get them out there. So
Yeah.
the problem is you got to be able to get them out there so that you become, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
a celebrity in your marketplace.
Yeah.
When you go to the grocery store, they say, hey, there's Mom, there's Treasure. She's at the grocery. Yeah. Oh, she's the lady that's always on TV. She's the lady that's always on the Insta. Yeah, everything I pop up.
14-year-old TVs.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what they watch.
Yes.
They
That's
watch.
what I
They watch
watch.
their phone. But there's that lady, Mom. So that's what you want, and you do that by the open houses. You do all the stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah. So social and video, give us an example of what both of you do. Like in a normal week or month, if I'm in any one of your social channels, what am I going to experience?
I mean, you're going to experience us day to day. So we share stories throughout the day of like what we're doing and what's going on. And again, there's so much noise. I mean, you've been speaking a video for years.
11 years.
And now everybody is like, oh, we should do a video.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
hello,
Finally.
coaching clients.
Yes.
I've been telling you that.
Yes.
But now there's so much noise about what to do. And so everybody's
Yes.
like, you've got to have a food channel.
Look at my producer over here going,
Yes,
hello,
yes.
hello.
I'm
Sorry.
taking him with me today.
Yes. No, you're not.
But there's so much noise about what to do and how
Yes.
to do it. And so people
Yes.
are doing things, again, that they're not passionate about.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have to have a food channel. Okay, I'm going to do a food channel.
Yeah.
Right? That works really well
Hey,
for
that
people.
worked for Kyle. I'll do it too.
Yes.
Instead of like, what
And-
is my DNA?
And Kyle killed it.
Yes.
And so I'm like, good for Kyle. That is his niche. Like every
Yep.
time he's up, he has a beer, he's having a good time, he's hanging out.
It's aligned with his brand.
It
It's
is.
what people expect. He throws big, huge parties for his clients. He says
Yes.
every open house has to have an after party. If it doesn't have an after party, it wasn't a good open house.
Oh, wow.
But that's his brand.
Yeah, that's his brand.
That is his brand. That's not my brand.
It's not my brand
No.
either.
No.
And so for us, we had to really take some time and figure out what was our brand. And
Yep.
for us, our brand is our military, and our
Yes.
brand is the charities in our community. And so we did a page called Live Love 719,
Yep.
where we're talking to the nonprofits in town. Like, did you know what this nonprofit does and what they do for our community and how they do
Yes.
it? And spreading the word like that, because Colorado Springs is the nonprofit headquarters. We have 5 military installations. We need to talk about the good that's being done
Yes.
in every community and not having it be bad news.
Yes.
There's enough bad news. They can get that at 5 or 7 whenever the news is
Yeah.
on. I want them to feel.
Whenever it's on, I love that. I don't know.
I don't
Yes.
know. I don't watch TV.
No, me
but
neither.
I want people to feel like if there is something that drives them, that they have like if they love pets, go check this out. And we're getting it shared. But the thing that we're doing is we're not making the videos about us.
Yes.
We're in the beginning, but then the video is all about them and what they want to talk about and the good that they're doing. And that really fills our bucket of who we are and what we want to accomplish. And the local businesses that we are, we're making sure that they're doing something good for the community as well.
Yep.
So a little boutique donates to homeless teens so that they can get jobs and look presentable on their first day. But then they also do something global to help people adopt children in Africa that are teenagers that can't get adopted.
Yes.
People need to know that because it might make you go, I'm going to go to that boutique if that's something that fills you.
Yes.
So we're taking the spin a little bit different for us and making sure that we're doing a video series that speaks to our core values, which is charity.
And that is the key to, I want to say again, like if you're watching, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. I'd like to do it. No. Like if you like food, if you like what I love, like I was listening to Seth Godin a couple of days ago and he's like, look, there is a tribe for everyone.
Yes.
Like that's what you got to get. But like, who is your tribe? Like he said, there's the red hat ladies and there's like hundreds of thousands of women around the country that show up in groups to hang out with their red hats on, and that's their thing. So if you're a red hat lady and you're not marketing to the red hat ladies, you'd be making a mistake.
Right.
In your case, it's charity. It's something about the military.
Yes.
I know you do a lot of charity stuff, but you took a different direction from our little mastermind session about the 60 lessons in 60 years. Speak to that for a second.
So when we were in February,
Give them the whole concept so they get what we're talking about.
Here. It's the Tom concept because Tom talked to us that Dwayne and I have been doing business together for combined 60 years. So he said, why don't you come up with a weekly 2-minute show that you just say, hey, here's lesson number 1, here's lesson number 2, and all the way to 60 lessons. So we've done everything from why the as-is contract is not as-is to the difference between, what the difference between Walmart and Tiffany's is.
Yeah.
And so then we give them just a 2-minute. Yeah, I bet you do. Right. I bet she does. Yeah.
But think about it. 60 lessons in 60 years of real estate gives them 60 pieces of micro content to put into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, right?
And they're all 2 minutes or less.
Yeah.
They're all 2 minutes or less. Tom and I are going to do one on talking about coaching, why a coach is so important, and why we have a coach.
Yeah.
It's important. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
it's everything.
So each of the lessons, so we kind of talk to people out there and say, okay, what are the lessons that you think would be interesting? And we've had them, why closing earlier is better than closing later. And then we had stories. Well, we've had 2 closings that were supposed to close, and somebody passed away, and it didn't get closed. And talk about the people are in a hotel, and they're like, people don't think of that stuff. Yeah. They always say, well, I'd rather close 2 months from now. Well, a lot can happen in 2 months. And what if your deal doesn't close, and you're going to Texas, and you're moving away? Blah blah blah. So you were able to share these stories, but when we were able to do it on the 60 lessons, a lot more people get to see them.
Yeah. And how do you? So you guys are filming these. Do you do like give us the sort of the tactical side? Do you take one day and shoot it? Do you do like one a day and then somebody publishes it? Like how does it work?
We're typically doing 2 to 3 a week. Okay. So we're trying to get ahead of it, and now we're doing something else that is called a walk and talk. And so we're walking, real fast to a house, and usually they're the high-end houses, and we'll say, we'll talk about the house, but they'll ask questions like, what's something that somebody doesn't know about you, Tom? And you'll say, hey, I got my pilot license when I was 16. Oh, that's great. Well, tell us about this. So it's a walk, and in the meantime, you're getting to see this house that would not get exposed. And we've been doing that now every week also.
That's very cool.
So
that's like Christoph Chu's drive time videos, which are ridiculous. If you've not seen Christoph Chu, go to Christoph Chu on YouTube and watch his drive time videos. He's been doing it for 11 years now.
And they're really great.
Millions
they're really
of views.
They're really great.
Hey, I'm walking, we're driving through this little community in Brentwood, and then he described, like he is the absolute knowledge broker of every one of those towns.
100%.
He really is.
It's unbelievable. So I'm sorry. So walk and talk, go back to the tactics. If I'm on your social channels, when do I get these videos? How do I get them? Am I on all the channels, some of the channels? Like, what's the distribution like?
I have no idea because Dwayne does that. Where's Dwayne when you need him?
Okay, does it get emailed?
It does.
Is it on YouTube?
It is.
Is it also embedded on your website, or do I get redirected to YouTube?
I don't know that.
I
don't know.
Dwayne knows. It better be embedded on your website, because otherwise the traffic goes to YouTube. We want the traffic on your website where you have all your CTAs, and join my list and be a part of our.
That's what Amy does. I mean, we've got the marketing department.
Would I find it on Instagram Story?
Yes.
Okay. Would I find all your stuff on Instagram Stories?
No.
IGTV?
No.
What? Treasure Davis, are you coachable?
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg is giving away free views right now for any video you put on IGTV. You will get a 40, 50, 60, 100 times, 200, 300, 400 time lift in views by taking the same piece of content and putting it on IGTV. It's got to be more than a minute long. It's not going to be around forever. This is one of those like, but wait, there's more. You have to act now. Like we should run out right now and put all videos on IGTV.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So what are people saying? Because this is early for you. You're only 4 or 5 months into this.
Correct. We're only on show number. we've shot 13 shows, and we probably only got 8 of them out there because we're doing it every week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but we had to hire a videographer. We had to hire all this stuff to get ramped up to get this stuff done.
Can somebody do it on their iPhone, or do they have to do it on a video? Like, do you have to get a videographer now,
No.
or
You don't have to. No.
We do some of our shows with the phone, and we do some of them with the videographer. So it's a mix of both.
yeah?
So for us right now, we're building up all of our content so then we can publish it out. You know, we had to build up to it. Like, we tried to hire a videographer. It wasn't quite the right mix for us. So we had to find a videographer that we liked, that we could work into our schedule. Like, not everybody can afford to have a full-time videographer.
Exactly.
So we're doing what works for us. We have them come in and film twice a month, and we just film from 10 to 5. We just have all of our videos lined up.
Smart.
And we just have them boom, 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 boom,
Change
boom.
your outfits or not?
No.
No, we
this
do.
is like pretty much the new Tom Ferry outfit, right? I'm like, screw it, I just wear a blue shirt and a hat every day.
We change them every time. Every
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
When we're
we-
shooting videos, we always have other shirts.
We don't, because we're going to mix them in. So some of them were like videos we're sending to our clients.
You're not saying, hey, it's June 3rd, right? You're like, hey, today we're talking about such and
Yes.
such community, or
what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smart.
And so then doing our Live Love 719 series, we're also filtering in things about real life. So realtors that have real stories, and we're starting with our team of how they balance having brand new babies. How do they balance being pregnant and
Yes.
still doing clients?
Yes.
How do they handle things when tragedy happens? How do they balance their business? What does that look like? And giving people real life, not just everything looks brilliant.
Look how many houses we sell.
Yes.
We're number 1 again.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they're tired of
and
hearing
we
that.
don't work any.
Yeah.
We
Look at
travel for 2 hours to see Tom Ferry.
Exactly. Look at the success of $1 Million Listing of Fix and Flip with like Tarek and his wife, and even through a divorce, they're still like, they were still rocking, right? Didn't make a
Yes.
difference. Jesse Rodriguez's show, the vintage Fix and Flip. One of our clients, we've had multiple clients obviously on the $1 Million Listing, but like now, like all of a sudden, people are finally realizing people want to know what's happening in your life. They want to see behind the scenes, and you know what they love? When you're not the hero.
Right.
When you totally screw up and then you figure it out and you solve the problem and they see you and they go, oh, she's real.
She's real.
Yes.
She's real.
One of the best posts that I did, I was sitting on the floor at my daughter's basketball practice, and I'm handwriting letters to my clients of what I wanted to say to them. And I posted it. I'm like, here I am, a mom at basketball, and it blew up.
Of course.
Yeah.
And people just wanted to see that. And I'm like, I wasn't doing that for any reason. I was just showing real life, showing
This is what it looks like. Yeah.
every bit of it and what people want to see, and knowing that we are real people with real emotions. And I think that sometimes makes transactions and relationships go better when they realize like everybody has a struggle.
Yes.
And not everything's perfect.
And that's what Coach Mike encouraged us to do. He's encouraged us to put a lot of stuff about family, what you're doing on your website, so people know that you're a real person. You're just not a worker. They want to know that you go to basketball. They want to know that you go to tennis with your kids. They want to know that, hey, my son just got, straight A's. They want to know that stuff. And you'd be shocked how many people write back, several hundred people write back on that type of stuff. So it's great that you can do the personal stuff, the real estate stuff, but it's also wonderful to do the personal.
I would argue that, I used to get it from my contemporaries, like, why do you post stuff that's about your personal life? And my response is, I don't know, because like I'm a human, I'm a brand, I want people to know and understand me. So like that's the game. I do a photo with my wife in it. 3 times the likes and hearts and shit.
Well, she's so much prettier.
Please, thank you. I know, yeah. But again, like it's like business quote, make more phone call to your thing, photo with Kathy, and everybody's like, right? I think it's the same thing today, right? Like you showing your daughters, you sitting there on the floor, like writing notes, right? So, all right, we're going to transition. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Referral sites, referral fees, big companies coming into, as some people describe it, directly into the vein to suck the commission out of your pockets. What say you?
I like them. We didn't like them a few years ago, but you've really talked us into liking them. And the reason we like them is because
someone watching right now is going, it's Barry's fault. Barry's the one that's doing this.
Absolutely.
You need to explain it. No. Okay. So you used to hate them. Why did you hate them?
We didn't like paying the fees.
Yeah.
We like it because our return on investment was like, oh man, it's killing us. I mean, it's what happened. It's a cost of business. Yeah. So what happens is on those listings that we want, we're the first to call them. We call them up and say, hey, this is Kirk with Carpenter Kessel. I want to see if I can meet with you today. I understand you're looking at selling your house. And I don't go through a whole list of questions. I want to get that appointment because I know there's 4 or 5 other agents behind me. They're going to call just as quick. I want to be the first one in that door.
Yeah.
And then at that point, we send them stuff. And so that's one of the things Mike's got us doing, Coach Mike. He's got us sending them stuff, confirming email appointment, everything. It's unbelievable the stuff he's got us doing ahead of time. So when we get there, we shine compared to the other realtors.
Why do you think so many agents are complaining about these referral fee models when they have paid agent-to-agent referral fees and relocation for decades.
Decades, yeah.
Why do they complain about this and not about agent-to-agent referral fees or about relocation?
They complain about it all. Honestly,
That's
they do.
That's true.
And,
That is.
and
Some truth in
sometimes
that.
there's some like, I don't want to pay that referral fee. It's like, I will write you that check all day long.
Yeah.
When people are like, will you pay a referral fee? Absolutely. I
Yes.
will gladly.
Yes.
I will not look at that check
Yeah.
twice.
Yep.
I built my business on referrals. Something is better than nothing. I'd
Yep.
rather have them take 30% of it and me still get something, because then I've built that relationship.
Yep.
And the people that that I've come along and met and gotten to know and that are started off as clients and now are lifelong friends, those are priceless relationships, and
Yes.
they are my biggest advocates and fans that I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have paid that referral fee.
Well, remember what you said earlier is on that referral fee that you paid for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, all of a sudden the Smiths now send you 2 more referrals that you didn't have to pay a referral
Yes.
fee on.
You
So if
just opened up
hadn't-
to their whole network.
Yes,
Yes.
you just opened the whole network of friends that they have. And if you hadn't paid that one referral fee, you wouldn't have got that new network.
And it's with that, but it's building that authentic relationship. It's not just about how fast can you write me that check.
Yeah.
It's all about the commission check. No, it's not. It's about, of course I have to make money. That's how I pay that's how I feed my family.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. And I think once our industry elevates to we're real people in business, taking care of people in the best way and not trying to gouge each other's eyeballs out and spend so much time hating what's going on and embracing it and going full steam ahead with it, we're going to be so much better off as an industry.
Okay, so I'm going to say something. I think right now there's 2 people watching this that are saying this was a total plant. Ferry's full of shit. He just wants people to be okay with Opcity Realtor.com or Zillow or whatever it may be, or maybe he's an investor at a bunch of these companies. And I want to just go for the record. I do not give a shit, first of all, about your opinion. I don't. I really don't care. What I do care about is the consumer consensus, the what they say about real estate agents
Yes.
is horrible.
Horrible.
You with me? And I don't care. Look, I didn't care about Facebook. I didn't care about LinkedIn. I didn't care about faxing. I didn't care about phone calls. I didn't care about hiring telemarketing centers. The only thing I cared about was getting clients.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And then once I got the client, it was up to me to nurture the relationship, right? So if I had to pay $50 for a Facebook ad or $400 for a Google ad or $250 for a LinkedIn, lead, if you will, not ad, lead, I didn't care.
Yes.
Because I knew how to monetize enough on the back end and build better relationships. So I just want to say that because I know at least one person's going, oh, this is, because people get up in arms on this. Like you guys see the social chatter when people are like, screw that company. They're trying to take over the. Shut up.
It's going to change. It is what it is. It's
Right.
like someone saying, "Oh, we don't want to fly airplanes." 100 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Hello. I mean, it's the only way to get from
Yes.
point A to point B anymore,
Yes.
unless you want to spend days driving.
Yeah.
So it's just part of progression.
And it's leveraging every single deal into 5 other deals.
Yeah.
And how do you leverage it and what's the
Bingo.
best way to do it?
Yeah.
Bingo.
So-
Bingo.
And this is part of the change.
This is no different from I was thinking about in the early days of my career, if somebody asked me, how did you advance? My answer was, I did my job and then I did my boss's job, right? And asked for no extra money. I'm just going to do their job better. So they moved up, so I moved up with them.
That's a
Yes.
great point.
And
That's a great point.
I think it's being raised by a single mom. And even though you guys all know who my dad is, he was on the road and traveling. It's my mom who's like, look at Tom, you need to clean your room and your siblings' room. You need to make yourself food and everybody else food. Maybe it's just because I was raised that way. So when I look at stuff like this, it's like getting on an airplane and spending $5,000 to go fly and see Mike Vance to get an hour of his time, right? That I was willing to pay for access to grow and to get better. And to me, I look at it maybe just I just want you guys to get my point of view. Do I want these guys to make a fortune off, maybe your hard work? I don't want them I don't want what happens to you. They go to HomeLight and they know you.
Yeah,
Right?
that does happen.
That's why we want to talk about marketing.
Right.
But I want to be clear. When it happens, you got to maximize it.
Yeah, and when they do know me, I'm excited because they take, hey, how are you? We were going to call you, and we get the appointment. Because again, my whole goal is to get in that door before the other 5 realtors get in there. And believe me, sometimes the whole 5 get in there. So you are definitely competing, and you better make sure you have a better mousetrap. You better make sure. Here's what Dwayne always says: you better be better than the internet.
Bingo. So how are you better than the internet?
I think our goal is to give you the best service that you could ever ask for. So, our goal is always, we love the Ritz-Carlton. So it's we're going to give you Ritz-Carlton service, and here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it. And we've got a map that shows you from the from the time we meet with you today until the time you go live, here's what we do. And literally it outlines everything. Nobody else has that.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to, so what you do is you show them, what they can expect and when it's going to be done. And they're like, oh, wow. Because sometimes they think you're going to list it today. It's going to be online tomorrow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I can't even get my photographer. I mean, it doesn't work that way. So here's how we do it. You've got to spell out all the expectations so they understand it clearly.
Yeah.
Great.
I actually got kind of heated and pissed when I was saying that earlier. I'm really glad you calmed me down.
You were like, whoa.
No, because there's always someone that's like, oh, Ferry's just got an agenda, right? It just does kind of occasionally ruffle my feathers. Look at this list. EffectiveAgents.com, MelloHome.com. By the way, Chris Heller used to run that company. He's now over at, now with the AI guys over at Ojo, dear friend. Top tier leads, all the leads, 1, 2, 3 home key. I mean, it's just on and on and on. Like
pages of
there's
them.
like 36 different sites that an agent could be a part of. And I'm glad, so again, wrapping up on opinions about this. Love them, hate them, maximize it. How do you maximize it?
Love it, take it, make it one of your lead pillars, not the only lead pillar you're doing.
That's a good point.
Do you have to change your financial model at all? Like what happens if you give it over to a sales agent on your team and you're paying a 35% referral fee? I mean, reload, 42% referral fee, right?
Comes off the top.
Yeah.
And no change in splits?
No.
Okay.
Because the cost is still the cost of running the team and the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Cool. Okay, let's go. Ready? Next one. Future of teams. Are they going to implode? Has everyone figured out this doesn't work?
Teams, I think, are just going to get stronger. Zillow is saying that if you aren't a platform user with them, it's going to be much harder to get into it as they go to the flex model and some other things that they have going on. I kind of feel the same with teams. Like we're already so far ahead because when I'm meeting with someone, we were talking about this earlier, when you're meeting with someone that's solo, you're not solo, but if you were, and then I can say, when a lead calls, they're going to get 8 of my salespeople all at the same time. And when someone has a listing question, they're going to get 5 of us all at the same time. The phone rings to us simultaneously. Yeah. So we're not missing anything. And then you have someone who's solo that's skiing on the weekend and can't answer the phone. You have an offer that comes in. They don't have time to leverage it into multiple offers.
Yep.
They're going to have a hard time competing against the teams that are offering all of that and can take better care of clients. So I think the teams are going to get stronger, and I think that we're just going to be able to offer better, quicker, more efficient customer service.
So 5 years from now, 1 in blank agents will be on a team. 5 years from now. 1 out of blank. How many?
I think 1 out of 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
what do you say?
I think she's pretty close.
1.4 million realtors in the U.S. and 10 million around the world, right? So,
but I go back to you. I would say the same thing. I'd say 1 out of 5. So 20%.
Yep.
But go back to the question you said earlier about the single agent doing 6 or 7 deals. I think he or she will benefit from being on that team, even doing their 6 or 7 deals, as long as they let the team leader, which is Dwayne and myself on our team, know that, hey, I only want to do 6 or 7 deals.
Yes.
So here's what I want to do, but I need your support so that I can go to the basketball games, so I can have a real life.
Yeah. And
that's what the team's going to afford. It's going to elevate the entire industry. I really believe it.
Yeah.
I really believe it. The ones that think they can do it on their own, you're doing a transaction. Oh, I want to show your listing today, Tom, at 3:00. I can't get you on the phone. All of a sudden, now I missed that showing. And what have you done? You've done a disservice to your seller.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what we explain to sellers all the time when they say, we're going to be the single agent. Well, what happens when your agent's not available and somebody calls and wants to see it at 3:00 today? Well, I don't know. Well, we have, just like Treasurer said, we have 8 other people on the team that can show it within a drop of a hat. So we're going to call you and say, hey, can we show the house today at 3:00? And you're going to say, yeah, great, come on.
Is that how you actually talk to your sellers?
Yeah.
I can actually see you do.
Sometimes.
I know you have such a personality. Okay. Other thoughts on team? Otherwise, I'm going to hit you guys with 2 fun ones.
Okay. I'm ready for fun.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Okay. So I want to know, how are you winning listings? What is your greatest degree of separation? And then what are you doing about fees? How do you handle the commissionectomy? So what are you doing to win the listing? You're competing. He was kind of going in right there, like team versus solo agent. You're in a competitive market. He's in a competitive market. Everyone listening and watching is in an uber competitive market. So it is what it is. You either compete or you don't. What do you do that wins the business?
Well, we watched one of your shows. I wish I remembered what number it was, that it talked about the pre-listing packet.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that number?
It's like the 10 ways to improve your listing performance or conversion, yada, yada, right?
So it was doing the pre-listing packet. So we send them our pre-listing packet before we even walk in the door.
Physical package or email?
Email.
Okay, so what's included give us an example of what's included in the email.
So a quick thing on our stats, our CMA, our marketing plan, And
Okay, but help me understand. Is that like all like one giant email?
it's a bomb.
Oh, okay. So
it's
yeah.
a video from me saying, I look forward to meeting with you. And in the video, we show like the house and what we're doing to get ready for meeting with them. It's real quick.
Like behind the scenes. And do you shoot it fresh every time or is this repurposed?
Nope, we shoot it fresh every time. It takes a second.
Yep.
It's a bomb. It's casual.
And it's the same script over and over and over, so you're not reinventing the wheel.
Unless it's something that we're like, hey, this is a unique horse property for us. We're going to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we send the video to them, and embedded in that are links where they can see their realist report. They can see the market analysis. They can see our marketing plan. We're not hiding anything. They can see all of that. So when we walk in
reviews,
we have a link to our reviews. And we send that to them. And so a lot of agents are still showing up to appointments with nothing.
Yeah.
And so we walk in already winning the listing because we already did so much work before we even got there.
And you're making it easy. They're like literally walking out of the bathroom or into the bathroom and they're checking their phone like, oh, Treasure Davis. Okay. Oh, right. And they see it all.
I really
know
don't
you hate
want to
that
envision
example,
them
but I mean, like, but literally, I try like it's that real for people, right? I'm sitting there on the couch. I'm Billy Bob. I'm watching TV. Billy Bob. I could be Susie, right? And I'm watching TV, and I'm not interested. And I look down and I'm like, okay, that's right. I'm meeting with Treasure in 2 days. Wow, 395 reviews. Here's the marketing plan. Whoa, right? Like, and if you're not, if someone else doesn't send it, your competition. It's a great degree of separation.
Yes.
And I'll bet nobody else is sending it. I'll bet nobody else in your market. If it is, it's very rare. So by her sending that out, it separates her already from the masses. Does that make sense? Because they're all looking at it. They all get it on their phones.
Yeah.
They can be 75. My folks would look at, oh, Treasure sent me something. They look at it and they may not figure it all out, but they do look at whatever's important to them. Like for me, reviews are important.
Yes.
I read reviews all the time.
Yep.
If you get a bunch of bad reviews, I'm like, this might not be the person for me.
Yeah.
The reviews to me are like top of the list.
Google just put out a stat, 88% of all consumers read reviews, right? 88% read reviews. And that's a big part of their sort of buying process, decision-making process. And then they said 11% don't read reviews. And then 1%, like, I don't know, just not even there.
The thing I want to talk about reviews that I think a lot of realtors get hung up on, I did myself, was when you get that one off that's a bad review and you die over it.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't see that coming. I don't know how it happened. You call them, you make it right, but the review is still out there.
Yeah.
And so you'd call and you're like, I don't know what to do with this review. It makes it what I learned over the years, and it's taken me years because no one likes a bad review.
Yeah.
But it happens every once in a while. Is first of all, making it right for the consumer, responding to all the reviews online, and knowing that that's part of the process. If everything is 5-star, people aren't going to find that those are valid.
No.
So having a one-off that's a bad review lets them know that this is a real site. They're actually verified reviews. And so we go into the appointment prepared, ready to go. And then after the appointment, we send old-fashioned thank you cards, thanking them for the appointment. And then we send them a text video. That way, no matter which demographic they want, they're getting it both ways.
Yeah,
modality,
and then we follow right? Modality, physical or video.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Okay, so pre-listing package, and then when you show up, we'll get into that in a minute. So what do you do? What's the degree of separation? I mean, is it because there's two of you showing up? Is it the team? Like, why do you guys win listings when you are competing?
Well, I want to put it out there that it's because of Mike, our coach Mike. He's definitely doing it. No, we love Mike. Mike's a great guy.
He pushes you guys hard.
He pushes really, really hard. Yes. And so, we look at the numbers all the time. Of course, Dwayne's always looking at the numbers. Yeah. And right now we're running a little over 80% of all the appointments we go on, we take. So
that's a high
It's
conversion.
a real high
and how
conversion.
many listing appointments will you go on in a typical week?
Our goal is to go on 3 a week. Just 3.
Yep.
So
I like that. Just three. Just three.
We'll take
5, 80% of them.
But we'll do 3. But that's just Dwayne and I. So the rest of the team
plus the team.
Plus the team.
Yep.
So Dwayne and I, we talk to the people. One of us talk to the people. We almost always go together. So it's rare that we don't. Like I'm out of town this week. He'll go either with myself or with one of the marketing people. But it'll be sometimes himself. It depends on who the people are. Yep. If they're referrals that came from him and he knows them really well, he won't take somebody from marketing. But we usually try to go with 2 people because what it does, it gives you a chance to kind of, as you're going through the presentation, somebody says, hey, by the way, let me show you this, let me show you that. We're looking for their hot buttons because everyone's got a hot button. And typically the husband's got one hot button and the wife's got another hot button. And if the wife doesn't like you, you ain't getting the job. So it's like, all right, how do we make sure we cover all the important things for them? Yeah. There's plenty of times we don't send, I was laughing because Treasure sends her CMA or an out. We don't send that ahead. That's the one thing we take with us because we want to go through with it. When we watch the body language, if they cross the arms, like, woo, obviously we were low. Because some of them won't tell you. We want, we want $950 for the house, and you're thinking $950. And I do that. $950, really? Oh boy. Well, what if the comps aren't there? Because always what Tom taught us is, what's the motivation level?
Yep.
Why are you moving? Where are you going to? How soon do you have to be
What's
there?
the urgency?
If they're motivated, I might take it at $950, and then I'll just letting them know it's way on top of the market. Here's what happens when you overprice it, and you work your way down.
Yep.
So I think I kind of got off on your question.
No,
but,
that's great.
I mean, the reality is we want that FaceTime with them. And so because there's two of us, we really think it's super dynamic. The appointments, Mike's taught us, we used to try to be out of there always in an hour. Mike's like, listen, you spend a lot of money for these leads. If you have to be there 3 hours, but you get it signed, be there 3 hours.
Exactly.
Like, yes.
Yeah. For $15, $18, $20, $30,000, shut up. Take your time.
Shut up. Take your time.
Give the client
and
what
don't
they
race
need.
through them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because some of them do need 2 or 3 hours. Many of them just want to just tell me. Some of them you go in there and they say, well, how much is it worth? You're like, well, do you want to see the marketing or anything? Because we do send them all that stuff ahead of time. We can tell. Dwayne tracks it. He can tell if they opened it, how far they went through it, how long they were, how long they were there. So
Or the
we know all this stuff.
The realtors that sit down, they're like, let me tell you everything about me. I was born in, and these
Kalamazoo
are all
in
the
19
awards that I've won, and this is everything. And people are like, I don't care.
They don't want to know.
Yeah. I
don't
actually
care.
read some of this stuff online, and I was
Yes.
disinterested then.
Yes.
Right?
Like, I don't
Not
care.
saying
It's
all of them
about
are.
me.
Not saying all of them. Some consumers want to go deep. Right? They
Right.
want to know all that stuff about you, especially if you become celebrities in your marketplace. But if they actually know all that stuff, they already see it all. So
Right.
Well, and I rarely get someone to ask me that type of stuff. They want to know about them.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you going to get my house sold? And if you can't get $950, but Joe Blow can get me $950, how can he get me Well, he can't. Here's the numbers. Let's go through the numbers. We have our computer. We pull the laptop out and say, here's this. What's the one comp you're basing it on? Well, it's Fred down the street got $980 and his house was not near as updated. And so then we go to Fred's house and say, yeah, but Fred had 800 square feet more and he had a 4-car garage and he had more water frontage. Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, there's always a reason.
Yeah.
But all sellers are emotional. They think.
Okay, so
their
let's
house is
talk
worth
about
more.
that, right? I mean, this is, I just did a whole thing with pipes recently. Like, all sellers are emotional, right? So how do you break through the noise of the emotion, right? Like, no, I want $950. Treasure and I are moving. We need $950. And look, Aunt Susie said she can get me $950, Kirk. So
She said she could get $1 million.
She did.
She did
but I
say-
know. But we both talked afterwards and said that's probably not realistic. But
Right.
$950, we would settle for it. And you're talking about like $895 is a list price.
Yeah, $895 is the list price, and probably $850 is the sale price.
What?
So yeah, $850.
She just gave you the look that you gave. Yeah, $850.
So let me ask you this: how soon do you have to be? Where are you moving to?
I'm moving to Orange County.
And how soon do you have to be there?
I'm pretty flexible.
So if the house takes 6 months to a year, that won't bother you.
No.
Then I would say let's price it at the $950 and try from there. Here's what we can do compared to what Aunt Susie's going to do for you.
Yep.
But understand, if it doesn't sell, we lost all the people that initially were sitting on the sidelines, because we have a lot of people sitting on the sidelines waiting for something new that if it was priced at $900 probably would have come in and made you an offer of $850.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if I'm correct and it ends up selling for $850, you spent 6 months, maybe 12 months to get there. And since you have the time, it's okay. If you said, hey, I want to be there in 90 days, I'd say let's price it at a fair price and get it sold.
Yeah. What do you do? Same situation.
I say it takes 3 things to sell a house: price, marketing, condition. Condition you control, which we're going to help you get that set up to maximize your money.
Yep.
Price you control 100%. I advise you, but it's ultimately your decision. And the marketing we do when we update you every single day as to what we're doing as far as marketing your home. And we have a weekly meeting every week on what we're doing to market your home the best. And we call you and let you know what we're doing after that. So we're updating you every single day, so you're never left in the dark to know what's going on with your home. So, but it comes down to 3 things. Which one, can we control? Which is price. If you want to start high, that's great. But just know that there's an emotional factor to selling your home. And when you drive up and down your driveway every day and see the sign, or when you get the home ready every day and then you don't have a showing, that's going to be emotional on you. So which way do you want it? We can try it both ways, but we need to make sure we're doing what's best for you.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times they want to, let's try it the high price and see what happens. They do.
Do you think she said that script a few times?
A lot.
I mean, she's like us, eyes closed, Michael Jordan, making free throws.
But what
Go
we're
ahead.
finding out is we may get the people to do it at the $895, but by the time we're ready to go live, they've called us back and said, nah, let's bump it to the $950.
Oh,
We see
after
that
they see the pictures.
all the time.
They're like, the
see
pictures
their
are
going,
phenomenal.
I can't
We
believe
want
my house
more.
is so beautiful. I know.
Yeah. Yes.
We think it's worth $950, and all the neighbors are thinking we're underpricing at $895. So we see a lot of that where you get it priced where it needs to be, and they bump the price because the other realtors are buying the listing.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. Realtors are buying the listing. And so we go in and say, we have the same data that they do. We have the same data that the appraisers do. We're not coming in to buy the listing. We're coming in to sell your home.
Yeah.
So which one do you want?
Does the consumer understand the phrase buy the listing?
when we explain it to them. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is, are they motivated? If they say, when we sell, we're going to go, across town and buy another house, there's no motivation there. So we would typically pass on that listing unless they priced it at the $895 or $900, knowing that it's going to sell at $850.
Yep.
If they're got any motivation, and sometimes you don't know, sometimes they're getting divorced and they're just happy as a lark, and we look in the closet and see if his clothes are gone or her clothes are gone, but it sometimes it's early on.
We do the same thing.
Yeah. We check everything out. Or he's only got 8 shirts in there. Well, he's probably not living here much. Yeah. That type of thing. So because they don't always tell you, what's going on.
Yeah.
That's the real.
How important is self-awareness in this business?
I think it's everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's not being so confident in yourself. You have to be confident because every single day you're going on a job interview.
Yeah.
Every single day. And sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose. So, but I think it's also about being humble and being kind and not walking in like, they're like, oh, when you walk into Starbucks, we were walking into Starbucks the other day and they're like, are you a realtor? I can tell by the way you're dressed. And I thought,
Ruh-roh.
What a shame. And I'm like, we are realtors. However, we do things differently.
You're like, should we have not all been wearing the same red dress? We have a photo session today.
But it's really about, again, going back to elevating our industry.
Yes.
We don't want to be the used car salesman. Nothing that there's wrong with that, but we don't want to be Guido on the side. Like, we want to be trusted advisors.
Yes.
Lifelong.
You were helping manage a massive asset for people, right? When you really put
Their
it
biggest.
a Series 7
biggest
license
asset.
is not a real estate license.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So commissions. How do you guys handle commission objections? Kirk, listen, I mean, Treasure and I we've done our research. We know the average commission now in the marketplace seems to be 5%, but we have this guy, Billy Bob, who keeps saying he'll do it for 4%. And if he sells it himself, he said he'd do it for 3%.
Yeah. And my question is, do you have Billy Bob's marketing package? Let's go through his marketing package. Because here's ours. We've been through ours. So, we're at 6%. We give 2.5% away to the other agent and we keep 3.5%. 1% we spend approximately on marketing. So my question is, if we're getting 2.5% and Joe, the other realtor, is getting 2.5% that sells it, assuming somebody else sells it, and 1% goes to marketing, what would you like to cut out?
Well, I mean, somehow Billy Bob said he was able to do it. He says he's going to market the place and it's going to be on every website and he's going to do a professional video. And
let's pull up Billy Bob's production and we pull it up on the computer and say, Billy Bob sold 7 houses this year. We sold 223. Would you rather list with someone that does 223 sales per year, which means we've handled over 500 transactions because you have buyers and sellers on both sides. Do you want someone that does that or do you want someone that does 7?
I don't know. I'm just kind of old school. I mean, I figured if he's selling 7 or 8, he must know what he's doing. And at the end of the day, we really just need every dollar out of this deal. I mean, that's really all it is. I mean, you guys are super qualified and we're very impressed by you. We're in a situation right now where every dollar matters.
And we sell the car you drove up in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The reality is this is what we charge. We're not prepared to go any lower. If you'd like to have us work for you, we're super happy to work for you. If it doesn't work for you, we understand. And we'd walk away.
Yeah. How many times do you if you're listing 80% of your appointments, let's just say for easy math, you're going on 10. I know it's 12. So 9 out of 12, whatever the number is, what percentage of the time is it over fees?
Less than 1. Less than 1 person. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's typically not because they want the service.
Yeah.
They're calling us because they're like, oh my gosh, this is all the stuff. Dwayne has a saying always that you can do the best video in town, but if you don't know how to get the video out so people can see it, it doesn't work. MLS is going to put it out there between 300 and 400 websites.
Yep.
At that point, then what happens? If you list with Billy Bob, which is who you're thinking about listing with, who's going to say he's going to be able to field that call? If Billy Bob's not there and he can't field the call, you may have the perfect buyer, but he can't service you. So if he doesn't sell the house, guess what? How much commission he charges you?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And there's sellers and situations for every demographic.
Of course.
Right? So, for example, I don't know if you know about this, but when I did Tom X, I was getting ready, preparing my speech the night before in Vegas, and I went to try on my dress because I wanted to make sure everything was perfect, and I punched myself in the face. I was adjusting my dress and punched myself in the face. My lips swelled up, started gushing down my dress.
I remember this.
And I freaked out.
Yes.
Ran down to the pool.
That's a great story.
I'm not laughing at you. It's a hysterical story.
I'm thinking maybe the dress was too tight.
Yeah.
If she couldn't get her arm through it and she hit herself in the lip. What happened? I'm trying to visualize this whole thing.
My dress was tied up top.
Ah, okay.
Which it should be.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Shouldn't be loose and baggy. I'm not in prison anymore.
Yes. Were you in prison? You mean working in the prison? Yes, okay. Sorry. So you punch yourself in the face. You got blood gushing everywhere.
Blood gushing. I run down to the pool. My team is at the pool. I'm in my dress. I'm hysterical. The thing about this story is there's a choice that I could have made. I could have gone to Walmart or I could have gone to Nordstrom.
Yep.
I chose Nordstrom. I wanted to walk in. I wanted to get what I needed. I wanted to be well taken care of. I wanted to get out.
Yep.
So we're looking for the consumer that wants to be well taken care of, that wants to walk in, crying their eyes out. I'm doing this huge thing. I want this. The girl said, okay, we got this. I see your dress. Try this one, do this. I was in and out of there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Back to life. That's what people want. And the people that don't are not our people. The people that want to pay the discount brokers, that don't want to be on the MLS, guess what? We had a past client who said, Treasurer, I love you. You've stayed in contact with us, but we really care about the fees. I said, good luck to you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. I understand. Backed up, stayed in contact, watched silently on the sideline, didn't do any sign crossing. When it didn't sell and it expired, I called him and said, I would like to resell your home. I see that it expired. He was like, I should have never done that in the first place. It never sold. They never put it on the MLS. And I'm like, that's how your home's going to sell. Yeah. But when they're paying these discounted fees, something is being missed. Yeah. And we're not missing anything. Yep. We're hitting every single demographic. Yep. Multi-channel, multi-generational, we're hitting all of it. Yeah. And so he came back. We sold quickly, sold for more money than he had it listed for. Raving fan. Mm-hmm. But we gave them the space to make their best decision for them.
You have to do that, because if you push them too hard to list at your 6% commission or 5.5%, whatever the number you charge, you push them too hard, they're going to call you the next day and say, my wife and I were talking about it. We just can't afford to pay. Yeah. We need remember we told you we need all that money. We need that money. So we're going to list with somebody else that'll do it for 3.5%. And
we love you. We know you're the best.
We appreciate it. And so you just do exactly what she said. You just continue to keep them on the mail list, keep loving on them. Mm-hmm. And then if it does expire, which they typically do, then you call them back and say, hey, Tom, it's Kirk. I saw your listing expired today. Can we please talk again? And you just put it down there and they're like, yeah, we made a mistake. 9 out of 10 times you get the listing. Right. Literally 9 out of 10.
And meeting people where they are, like sometimes they do need that. Sometimes they do have a financial hardship. Sometimes I will take a little bit lower because I want to meet people where they are.
Yes.
Yes. If you have to help them out, it's a different story. Yes. If you have to help them out, but if they're making $300,000 on their house and they're trying to maximize every dollar, it's like, listen, guys, we all want to get paid.
We don't want $299. We want $310. You're like, slow down.
You're going to make a lot of money.
You're going to get $300, and here's why.
And here's how. And here's how. And just map it out for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should go on listing presentations together.
We'd have a great time. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. If you put Dwayne though in the middle, Dwayne is like super quant, super analytical, very soft, very relaxed, and then crazy
He's
spazzos.
Saying that we're not
wild.
calm.
We're wild.
Well, no. You two take it. Okay, that was bad.
Well, whatever.
The good part, but the good part back about doing the two people on the appointments is he's able to look at them and decide, okay, this husband's all analytical.
Yep.
He's a high I or he's a high D, and so here's how we got to kind of change this approach to this.
Absolutely.
Where in the olden days we went on a listing and said, here's our script and here it is, and there's times.
Hey, one of 3 things are going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh! And then
we just went back to like 1997 right there.
I remember that. And then you're gonna say, here's how we're gonna do it. Here's what we're gonna do. And when they go glassy eyed, you're like, we lost them. Yep. We lost them. And then so one of us will pick up on that because the other one's talking. And it's like, and I'll just do the nice little nudge, and I'll say, here's what I think is what you're looking for. And da 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 da. And then we get out in the car and we're like, oh my God, I realized what you did. And it could be him, it could be me. Yep. But sometimes you're just so in the grind and the mode and in doing the script. They don't want to know all this marketing stuff. They're already ready to sign.
Yeah.
If they're ready to sign. And that's what we ask them. Are you ready to sign? Well, we want to see the marketing stuff. Okay. We show the marketing stuff. Yeah. Are you ready to sign now? Well, we want to know what the commission rate is. And here's the commission. And you address, are you ready to sign now? How many times do you ask them, are you ready to, does this work? Are you ready to sign?
Yeah. It's so funny.
I think that's phenomenal.
The call that I took before we did this interview, literally the guy called and said, I called your office. I did a free coaching session. I just wanted to sign up. Can I just give you my credit card?
I like that.
I was like, sure. Okay, let's go.
Give it to me.
But we sometimes forget that the decision's already been made.
Right.
Right. And that goes back to that whole self-awareness thing. Like, do you have the self-awareness to read the people to figure out what's going on? Do I have the high quant, high analytical? I better feed the numbers. And then with Treasure, I need to have we need to talk about why this house is great and who the ideal buyer is and what the avatar, whatever it is. That's a delicate dance. I mean, I think there's a reason why there's so many agents out there that struggle over commission, because when they show up, their presentation is just not where it should be, not where it needs to be for the savviness of the consumer today.
And I think it's also identifying who the decision maker is in the process.
Yep.
I think sometimes people forget.
Yes.
In every industry.
How do you do it?
I mean, you can quickly tell who the decision maker is.
How?
It's just engaging with both of them and seeing who's asking the questions and who's giving you the tour of the home.
Yeah.
And who is really in the mix of it and who's kind of more sitting back You can't ignore either one of them, but I think it's really important to make sure you're engaging both decision makers, because you really don't know until you start building that rapport with them as to what that is. And it's also figuring out their personality styles. You know, with our coach, we spend a lot of time on personality styles and then what they do under pressure and how do we, you know, communicate with them, and how do we do the NLP and the tie downs, and how do we make sure that what we're saying matters.
Yes. Thoughts? How do you determine who the decision maker is?
I always assume it's the wife.
Yeah.
And then I work my way.
Smart man.
I assume it's the wife, and then I work my way down from there, because what happens is
I work my way down.
Every
husband's like, no.
But ultimately, the wife's going to say, I have to deal with these guys.
Yeah.
I have to deal with their team, and I don't like them.
Yeah.
So he may be ultimately the decision maker, but she really is a decision maker.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we cover both their needs. But I'll give you an example. We went on one the other day. The wife was 100% sold on us. Husband had never met us. And we sent our stager in there to do stuff and get all the stuff done, which we try not to do before we get the listing signed. But this was one of those. She's like, well, should I do this? And should I do that? And 30 years they've been in the house. Yeah, you should do a lot. So we got all this stuff done, met with the husband. He was all about the numbers. So, we went over the numbers with the husband. The wife all along was ready to sign, and we just kept doing, does this work for you? Yeah. And they had the same objection. Well, what about the commission? And, could you do 5.5 because somebody else will do it? We knew she was ready to sign. So we just kept saying, okay, this is what we can do. Are you okay signing now? And the husband would say, well, I really would like to see if you could do a little more on the commission. So I look at the wife and say, are you happy with what we're going to do? She's like, yeah, honey, I really like them. And they signed. They signed. The house sold in 30 days. Super, super happy. That's what you want. You want happy customers. You want raving fans. But he was trying to renegotiate a little bit. And she's like, let's sign the stuff. Come on.
Yeah.
It worked out perfect. Now they did bump the price by $5,000. And then ultimately we every 30 days we meet with them. So at 30 days, I had already primed them at 3 weeks and said, listen, that $5,000 changes you. It was $475. Should have been, they bumped it to $480. I said, when you pull in the MLS, you're going to go to $475. They don't pull full $476, $470.
No.
So $480 is a wrong number. And I really want that. Just what you said. I really want that
$5,000.
That's $5,000.
Yep.
And so we ended up 30 days, less than 30 day. I called him day 21, say, hey, we're going to meet. You realize in about 10 days, we're going to talk about the price. Yeah, we've been talking. I talked to the wife. Yeah, we've been talking about it. Next day, she emails me, drop it to $475. House sold within a week with 2 offers.
Yeah.
It's just because more people can pull it.
Of course.
It's just not getting pulled. People stopped at $475.
So what we do when we do our price adjustments, our price corrections, is we sit down at a table and we say, we're all going to write down what price this home is going to sell for. Not what you want.
With the sellers.
What it's going to actually sell for.
I love that. How does that play out?
The last one that I just did was with an attorney.
That had to be fun.
That'd be interesting. Cool.
Yes, I like to go big or go home.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So I sat down, we all sat across the table from each other, and I was like, we're all going to write down what the home is going to sell for.
Yeah.
And she's like, I told you we overpriced this home. And I was like, here we go. So we all wrote it down. We flipped over the paper. We all had the same number. It was a $40,000 price drop. And I said, are you ready to make the price drop today? Because we all know this is what it's going to sell for.
Yeah.
Not only... And then I said, okay, when we drop it to here, here's some other things we're going to do. It's going to reset like it's a brand new listing, but we're going to do some other marketing pieces as well.
Yep.
And it sold for that price, on the nose, no concessions. And they were happy because we sat down, we had an education, and we talked about the stats, the numbers, everything, laid it all out. I came with a ton of data, said, now that you've seen the data, let's do this. Folded it up. We all shared it, lowered it $40,000, sold for that price. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but
that's a really good little move.
It's a great move, and she's also meeting with the people. You have to meet with these sellers. So the biggest complaint we hear from other sellers is, our agent had listed for 6 months, 7 months. We never heard until the listing expired. We never heard from them. We get something, they'd email us, but we just quit reading it after a while because it didn't mean anything to us. They want to talk. They want to meet. So every 30 days, we do a face-to-face.
So smart.
Then once a week, we either are calling them or emailing or both. They always get an email from us every week. But we either Leslie, Dwayne, or I typically call them and say, hey, we just want to let you know, we had 3 showings and 2 are kind of liking the house. So we're going to watch them. Oh, that's great. They just want to know. They just want to know that you're still there, that you haven't forgotten. So that was a great move by bringing them in.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, do you guys ever use props? Do you bring anything with you on listing appointments? I mean, like I go back to, have you seen Randy Orr's 5 Bananas? Oh my God. Okay. So I'm Randy, I'm sorry. Randy says, the market adjusted. I've got all these overpriced high-end listings. He said, I got to the point with my coach and he said, look, you need to figure out some way that you're going to go in. and in a reasonable way with enough rapport, get every one of your sellers to either reduce or cancel. You've been there before,
Yes.
right? It's like reduce or cancel, but we're not going to say the same. So Randy's super creative, right? So Randy says, it's like in the grocery store, I'm sure, grabs a bunch of bananas, and he goes, first banana, he writes down on the banana with a black felt tip pen, 46.5. Next one, 48.7. Next one, 51. Next one, 52.5. Next one, 53.4. Writes them on the bananas. He says, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we have to decide tonight. If you were walking in to the grocery store and all 5 of the bananas look exactly the same, which banana do you buy? The one for $53.40? The one for $50.50? The one for $46.50? Which one would you buy, Treasure?
46.5.
46.5.
Yeah.
See, that's the last sale that happened with a home exactly like yours, right? In this, it sold for $465 per square foot. We're currently listed at $534 a square foot. We only have X number of buyers and we have Y inventory in the marketplace. If you're priced here and the buyers want to buy here, what do you think is going to happen?
What a great analogy.
Now, Randy has on like panache on steroids, right? He says, if you don't have rapport, you cannot pull this stuff off.
Right.
He said, you will look like a dumbass, right? He said, but I've got so much rapport with my clients. They know that I've got this sort of comedic style about him. He's super serious, killer at what he does, but he'll play
fun.
games with people,
Fun,
right?
yeah.
So he's like, look, we got to decide which banana do you want to be, right? I've seen agents use these sort of visual props, right? Mm-hmm. That just maybe stimulate the conversation, have people metaphorically get it. That's why I'm always curious. Like, I've seen, John Arrow did the world famous $100 bill close, right? Takes $101 bills and says, okay, so I charge 6%, pushes the $94 at them. And it says, I pay $3 over here. I spend $1 on marketing. $1 goes to my broker, leaving me with $1. And he rips it in half and says, I live in California. You guys get 94, I get 50 cents. Are you guys okay with that? Right, like those kinds of things.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like no, you guys don't do anything like that. I'm just curious. I think
No, but I do this all the time on the back. I turn over the contract and I say, okay, and then I'll give them the analogy, something similar to that.
Yeah.
And it's not always square footage because they're like, well, we got more waterfront.
Of course,
we got this.
of course.
So you have to figure out what that's going to be.
Yeah.
But I can say, here's a house for $465, and here's a house for $534,000, and this $465 is super similar to what you have.
Yeah.
This $534, it's got 2 extra car garage. It's on the water.
For
It's got
sure.
this.
That's a big banana.
Yeah, and you're priced at the same $534,000
Yes.
as this one is.
Yeah.
So the reason that we're getting, and they'll say, well, we have people looking at our house, but no one's buying it. Yeah, because they're buying the other stuff that's in here.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not buying because you're up here. If you want to get sold, you need to be closer to that number.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. If you show them, it's a visual that they can see. It doesn't, whether it's, I'm not bringing bananas, but if you bring something, whatever resonates, whatever resonates with you, it will work. That's a great one.
Yeah, I just think analytical people bring analytical props, numbers, and I just always argue the point that I think people today are looking for entertainment as much as they're looking for education about how they get their home sold. And they don't make me laugh. Don't sing a song in front of my house, right? But like,
You would laugh.
But I would laugh. but the entertainment value of a presentation that makes you stand out. If everybody else goes, here's the comps, here's my marketing plan, here's what's going on, this is what's happening, la 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 la. What can you do? Personality, props. I'm not attached to any of it. I'm just curious.
Right. Walk the house. Walk their competition with
Yes.
them. Let them see it. Walk it with them.
Yes.
Let's go view it. Let's take a look.
That's the best thing.
And
if
data.
You take them out and show them the data, and because we have so many engineers, the data really works.
Oh, yeah.
The data works in my marketplace. But if you
Know
occasionally
your customer.
Yeah, if you occasionally have to take them out, let's go out. Let's go look at these 3 houses.
Yep.
And see.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, our kitchen's kind of ugly compared to these other kitchens. Oh yeah, because the pictures, some of these realtors take some really ugly pictures, so the sellers think, oh, that's an ugly kitchen. Well, maybe it's not an ugly kitchen. Maybe it's just bad pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, closing thoughts, because we're going to wrap this up. This was a totally random thing, like literally for those of you that are watching. First of all, thank you. Yeah, they're like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, let's just do like 6 or 7 random topics. But again, so many insights, especially like when we get into role play, people are going to totally eat that up. The opinion stuff I think is important, right? I think we're trying to maybe alter people's perspective about the change that's coming and hopefully get people on board for their own professionalism, their own business. And I think that resonated nonstop coming out of both your mouths. So any closing thoughts between now and the time that these people see you at an event or they, contact you online and say hello? Closing thoughts to the real estate world.
I have to think. No, I mean, I think that the big closing thought is and it sounds like a sales thing, so it's not a sales thing, but our life was changed when we started coaching, with you. And so first it was Steve, and then, then we moved on to Mike. Mike's unbelievable. I mean, we have a weekly call with him. He's reachable if I have other questions, but he's really, really given us a life. I mean, so we're not, working all the time. We take great time off, but our production's been unbelievable. I mean, we'll go from 85 million last year to over 100 million this year. And we work less, but we're working smarter.
Yes.
And so the coach is what's driving it. We're listening to him. And you said it earlier. If you don't listen to what the coach says, you're wasting your time. So if your coach is telling you to do something, go do it. I mean, that's the simple one.
Yeah.
Professional athletes, Olympians, they all have coaches in different avenues to elevate them to that next level and to keep them competitive. So not having a business coach, because most of us, I would say over 90% of us did not go to business school to run a real estate business, which is what it is.
It's now a business.
Yes, it is a huge business. And so aligning yourself with people to take you to that next level, to think of things from outside that you're not thinking of, is really important. I think some things that I've just kind of been echoing in my own head is elevating our industry and taking care of each other and coming from a place of being colleagues with each other and supporting each other and knowing that and having the abundance mentality, knowing that there's enough for everybody. And yes, are we going to get squeezed on our commission a little bit? Yes, but that's okay, because in that we can leverage relationships and we can leverage one transaction into 5. And how can we do that? And masterminding with people from across the country to get your business to the next level and not reinventing things, going to people and saying, I want this. Who in our ecosystem has this? I'm going to go to them, and they share it within 5 minutes.
Bingo.
And that's really leveraging the industry and making us perform at a higher level and taking better care of our families and living level 10 in all areas of our lives.
With no apologies, baby.
No apologies.
None.
No apologies. All right. Well, listen, for everybody watching, thank you always. And Treasure, thank you. Kirk, thank you. We'll make sure that their emails are, just give me your email address really fast. And same thing for the people that are maybe not watching this on video, audio only. If they want to reach out, ask a question, got a referral for Colorado Springs, how do they reach you?
Yes. So find me on social, Treasure Davis. And Instagram is better because I'm not maxed out on Instagram over
There you go.
And my email is homes, HOMES, @treasuredavis.com.
Love it.
Yeah, and our social is Carpenter Kessel, KESSEL, .com, or Carpenter Kessel.
Yep.
And we're at Gmail, so you can send me Kirk at carpenterkessel.com. It'll come directly to me.
Yep.
And Dwayne and I, we'll work really hard. If you got a referral, we're happy to have them.
Yes.
Just like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want those
And
referrals.
if they have a question?
questions, absolutely. Send me an email. Better an email than a phone call. Because it'll give me a chance to respond.
To be
If
thoughtful,
Yeah. And if you need a chat or something like that, send me a quick email that says, hey, I'd love to chat with you for 5 minutes, and I can do it typically in the car.
Yep.
So I do a lot of those return phone calls for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the car is a great time to be able to catch up, and it's all positive and exciting.
Hey, you made a lot of those phone calls throughout your career, and you still do, my friend, and so do you. So,
Yes.
it's
So we're here to help.
it's just giving it back. It's giving
we
it back.
got to give it back. So,
And
yeah.
sharing
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
people don't have that information. It's, again, elevating the industry.
Yep, lead them forward.
Sharing.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I love you both. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
Thanks
thank
for
you
the
so much for
opportunity.
watching. Can't wait to see the comments. And listen, remember, always your strategy matters, your passion rules. I haven't said that in a while, Rich, huh? That's like old school Tom Ferry. I don't even know where that came from. My audience did decide that. That is exactly right. But that's a whole separate podcast. All right, we're out. See you guys.